it's all about your mindset.
Constantly being in new environment.
For me, pushing myself beyond my limitations mostly boiled down to constantly trying to move forward with what I was doing and not get stagnant for too long.
When I see something new, I'm intrigued.
By pushing myself, I open myself up to opportunities of learning and growth.
Ultimately, dissatisfaction with the way things are, with the way that I am, is what really pushes me beyond my limitations.
Wanting to discover the unknown.
Is sort of ignoring the part of myself that fears new things.
Come up with an idea that's new to me, and I'm not sure if it's okay to do it, but I feel it's the right thing, and so then I just go ahead and I do it.
I think the first thing I think of is that I have to convince myself that there's no I can't do it. So it's that you have no limit.
How do I push myself beyond my limitations? I think it takes a lot of courage and willingness to contemplate. I feel like growing up in the United States, it's never been okay for me to explore what I can't do. It's always about what I can do. Whether that's through job applications or job interviews, I'm always trying to build myself up and talk about how great I am, but not about the things that I feel like important, the things that I can't do, and to recognize those things. I think by recognizing those, it instills a sense of humility. I think it's important to be humble. And it's an important trait in personal development. Finally, I think that motivation also comes from my encounters with students on campus. I think it's important to be a positive role model. And I think the students often push me in new boundaries and push me to and challenge me to do better, even without realizing it. And so I think that's definitely real important in helping me identify my limitations.
You gotta set high goals for yourself and do your best to accomplish those goals. And hey, if you don't make those goals, well, at least you tried your best, and you probably did a lot better than if you just set like low goals that you knew you could make.
It just pushes us to learn different things and look at things from different ways.
My issues come from lack of forward progress. So that's really just what it is for me. It's just constantly growing and trying to do better than you were even the day prior.
Even though the old saying goes, curiosity kills a cat. Without curiosity, though, we won't be able to progress and discover new things in our life and in our world.
For me, I feel like it's important to know that you're always learning. Always be curious about yourself, about others around you, about the world. As a personal experience, I grew up, I call myself a hyphen, so I'm a 1.5 generation Asian American, and so growing up, I didn't know how to read and write my language. I didn't know how to read and write Chinese. And so one of the things I did was in college I learned how to read and write Chinese, and I remember a lot of people told me that, you're never going to do it, it's too late, you're already grown up, you'll never ever learn it, it's too hard. And so I was very proud of myself that I was able to learn more about myself, my language, my culture, and so now as an instructor, I tell other Asian Americans that, even though if you didn't have it growing up, it's never too late. Whether it be language or at least for me professionally now, same thing for math. If you don't remember, the math that you learned in the past, or you never got it the first time around, it's never too late to learn it. And it might be hard work, but just having the right mentality that yes, you can do it, is really, I think, the most important thing you can have.
I have a lot of times in my life that I can look back on where I've been afraid to do something and I felt like there was a limitation there, and I went for it, and then when I got to the other side of it, I realized it wasn't that big of a deal, it wasn't so far out of reach, and that has helped me take on challenges in my day-to-day life or new challenges. It's just kind of this reassurance that, well, I did that and it wasn't so bad.
And when I surpass those limitations, though it can be difficult and scary, it's always worth it.